Hello everyone, I'm Michael, and today, I'm going to tell you a story. You've just won $250 million and it's been deposited in your bank account. What are you going to do today? Story 1. Pay off debt. Give some to my parents and little sister. Her and brother-in-law are not smart with money, so probably wouldn't be much. I'd help immediate family within reason, but I'm not trying to be the family's walking ATM. I'm also 28 and single with no kids, so I have no desire to bring a woman into the picture since I'd now have money and the only thing that would attract is gold diggers. Probably then keep it mostly quiet and tell everyone else to fuck off because I'm not a very charitable person. Then I'd put some money away for tax reasons and try not to spend much in the first year of winning. After that, buy a nice piece of property for personal use and then start investing in real estate to start a cash flow. Once that's established, continue my usual hobbies now that money isn't an issue. I'd still penny pinch a bit, but there would definitely be signs to others that I'm now loaded. Sport bikes, JDM cars, snowboarding, and then maybe start other hobbies that were too expensive and unobtainable. Probably start traveling abroad as well, which I've never done so far. Story 2. I get rid of my home business quickly. I don't need to work anymore. I will have some very happy friends. I'll see if I can buy my way into Canada. Some things, such as my eating habits, won't change. Released from 2,500 hours of work per year, I finally can have time to do things like hiking more often. I'll still love my old music, mix cassettes, YouTube, driving around in a car, hanging with fun people, and I'll still wear Hawaiian shirts and blue jeans. I won't suddenly develop a taste for caviar, luxury cars, cruises, golf. I'm not going to stop liking unhealthy food, fried chicken, hamburgers, popcorn, along with vegetables and fruit. I'll still try that dingy-looking diner that has a full parking lot at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'll still go to the Scrabble Club, etc. My mother hasn't been alive in years, so I'll still wear mismatched socks. Because I can. It will take me much more than a day to figure out where I should put this money, in a way that will improve or save lives, or otherwise do something good for society. This is still not enough money, not even close, to do anything that will improve the climate in any way. I will recognize that having spare money, in large amounts, going to efforts, which are predominantly helpful to the poor, will uplift the most lives. The hard part will be assuring that the money goes where it's supposed to go. In contrast, if all I did was give $100K at a time only to multi-millionaires, it would accomplish absolutely nothing. So yes, it's a no-brainer that it goes to the poor. I will not worry about how to invest and turn it into more money either. That is also a job. Why have a job when I can instead live what life I have left? I'm 75 and I still enjoy traveling. I'd need to assure that the money is safe. That's all, really. Story 3. Sit BK and think before I make a list of things I want to accomplish and do with the money. Spend some on what's needed, share some, and invest most of so it can build generational wealth. Set up some type of assistance where I live to help those I can. I thought about this even before this question, and I want to buy a lot of land and keep trees on it for the nature to thrive, and so that the city or government could never destroy it or build on it. There is enough homes and places on this planet for everyone to live without building more and destroying more land. If they fix up and put money into the homes that are built instead of buying and building new. Story 4. Pay off daughter's college loan. Pay off van. Pay off back bills. Buy second cars so my husband and I don't have to share anymore. Start investment accounts with my boss for both of my daughters. Buy a house. Donate to my church and favorite charities. Put the rest in an investment account with my boss. He would still be my boss. I like my job. Story 5. Probably fly to London. It's a good city for multimillionaires. Has a lot of amenities and services for the needs of that crowd that I probably couldn't get at home. I'd relax, tell my sister to quit her job and fly her out too. I'd keep the house we own now, probably buy a few nostalgic homes from family history. I'd be very tempted by property in Montreal, Vancouver, Cape Town and probably Sydney, but I'd spend a couple of years traveling between meetings just to make sure. I would treat my guy to one of those chartered private jet flights at least once and probably a fancy supercar in an obnoxiously vivid color. I'd probably prefer more of a stodgy old Lord Grantham type of vehicle myself. As far as having something to do, I'd want to understand my investments pretty closely and would probably Put in whatever kind of academic effort was required to feel confident that I could make my own mistakes and understand what went wrong, even if I hired someone to make those mistakes for me. I also love Canadian history and would probably be active in that field. Lastly, for amusement, I'd cause mischief for anti-democratic wonkers currently infesting multiple Western democracies. Story 6. Thing is, $250 million is 6,188,875,000 Egyptian pounds, so that a whole fun lot. Help mom finish building the house of her dreams now that she can finally afford it, and buy her everything she ever dreamed of having in it. Obviously, and like everyone else, pay off all my parents' debts. Help relatives in need. Some are facing unimaginable crisis, and give the gatekeeper and her family money so they can learn, wear good clothes and have a warm house, and maybe return to their village and live with their family. The household helper too. Buy books. Loads. My entire to-read list. Make myself some good hot chocolate and wrap myself in warm blankets. Find a calm, peaceful place to read and write. Learn drawing, animation, photography, dancing, volley, voice acting, playing the instruments I never ended up mastering. Everything I ever wanted to learn, from hobbies to science. I ain't save whatever's left for the rest of my and my sister's education. I'm 15, for reference. Story 7. I'd only tell close family friends after my financial plan is put into motion. That way, they can only come at me for my earnings on any given year, not the principal all. Realistically, you shouldn't let them know either. Once you have that amount of money and people know about it, you will be constantly asked for money or favors. You will start to get dirty looks when you go out to dinner because, after all, why wouldn't the man with millions of dollars pay for the whole thing? Your family will tear itself apart. You will be blamed for other people's lack of money. There's always a slight undertone of, well, if you could help me out, and some of your family and friends may be bold enough to say it outright. Anyone who you do give money to now sees you as a money printer. People who previously looked at you as human with your own issues now see you as a bank with money they theoretically have access to. They will make you feel like shit. There is a reason that winning the big jackpot in the lottery has such high mortality, drug addiction, and feuds. People who have wealth aren't friends with only other people who have wealth just because it's fun. It's their lifestyle. They're the only people who won't ask them for money. They're the only people with whom they can interact with that do not look like puppies begging for scraps. And you'd be surprised just how selfish you will become, given access to the ability to be ahead of everyone else around you. We're human, after all. Story 8. I can imagine the sleep would not be easy, thinking about what you are going to spend the money on, what people to help out, anxiety over if there has been some mistake, etc. I am getting worried just thinking about it to type this. I doubled my income recently, and you just cannot put a price on how many problems disappear when you have enough money to actually tackle them. I was up at night, all the time dreading all the things going wrong and feeling powerless, and just like that now I sleep like a baby. So many things are different. People who used to aggravate me, now I just don't care. Things at work that pissed me off, well, whatever, who cares? I'm clocking out in a few hours anyway. My piece of shit roommates. I'm moving out in a few months. Do whatever you want, morons. I am immune to everything. I am empowered. I am zen. You might not be able to go to the happiness store and buy some, but goddamn does money buy a whole lot of solid ground to stand on. Money gives you the peace of mind that tomorrow is going to be okay, which makes all the shit happening today so much smaller. Story 9. My wife and I have talked about this, and I think we've established a fairest way to do it for everyone, assuming we won something where we walked away with $100 meters plus post-tax. In our case, it would be $1 meters per parent and sibling, $500 K per spouse and child, and a trust fund set up that pays out $120 K in salary per year. So $100 K post-capital gains per family unit, paid in monthly installments. By my math, we'd be out around $10 meters in the initial payments, and probably need around $30 meters in a fund making 6% to handle pushing out that amount of cash on an annual basis in perpetuity. There would be some sort of conditions built in as well. The money spigot gets turned off if you turn into a junkie, basically. At that point, we've given everyone enough money to set themselves up very well in life, and enough income to do basically whatever the hell they want within reason for an upper middle class lifestyle. You'd have enough upfront to buy a nice home outright in most areas, furnish it, get yourself a decent vehicle or two, and then have $8 k month just for breathing. You can do whatever you want with your life from there. If setting aside $40 meters to begin with keeps the peace with everyone I care about for the rest of their lives, it's worth it. IMO. Cousins and beyond would be a case-by-case basis. At that point, I would treat it like Spider-Man the Godfather. You get one favor. Story 10. Tell no one and act as normal, but certainly eat a lot better. Pay off my debts quietly and make timely acts of kindness to my friends and family. I like this one a lot. I'd probably add in simple acts of kindness to strangers and charity too. Having this much money and people knowing, I feel I'd never be able to trust the sincerity of connections I make. But this is a way to have it and still offer timely help and kindness to others around you. Yes. Story 11. Quit my job. Send my mom money and let her rest for the rest of her life. My little brother too. Cut my rent contract, pay the landlord to leave me alone and move to a place I'm comfortable in, probably leave my country. Get a car and a motorcycle license, phone, PC station, and a normal TV. Invest in a nice kitchen and moderate clothes. Mine are basic cheap shit and kitchen sucks. Pay off my best friend stuff, buy him and his new fiancée a house and 2 cars and get them out of their shithole. Get 2 dogs. Invest in studying the language I'm trying to find time to master. Donating to soldiers, bases some money, and get them a couple of TVs and consoles. I probably won't need it as a practically free man, but getting therapy and an MRI for my hands, it hurts lol. Learn how, and investing part of the money to make it make some profit so it'd keep growing and not just sit in the bank. Build a house in a remote place in Iceland with Wi-Fi and everything for constant vacations. FIFA 23. Literally vibe until tomorrow. Story 12. Working as a ski instructor, youth sports coach. I'd still do it, just would buy myself some new ski gear, multiple pairs of the discontinued shoes I ran in when I was competing, and all new gear that everyone needs as anonymous gifts since there are quite a few youngsters that wear their parents' old shoes because it's all they can afford, and there are major rules against favoritism gifting stuff to athletes, so I'd still want to follow that. I grew up lucky to get more than the bare minimum to enjoy what I did, and I can't help but think that these kids deserve that opportunity as well.